Hi there, fight fans. My name is Kian Lang, and I'm very happy to say that I'm today joined by the incredible George Hardwick following his win at Cage Warriors 193 just a few weeks ago. George, thank you very much for joining me again today, man. I mean, how are we doing?
I'm doing very good. Good morning session, drills, bag work, ate some sardines and pasta, and I've just baked a flapjack. Life's good.
I mean, that last bit's incredible. I was going to ask, is it nice to have a couple, kind of easier weeks after what I imagine was a pretty hectic time, but you're already straight back in the gym and straight back training?
Yeah, I got back in the gym on Monday and I intended to train Monday night. And then as soon as I started thinking about shadowboxing, I just got diarrhea because I ate so heavily on the Sunday. But then Tuesday, I just got back into the gym. Normal stuff, pretty much back into fight. Not like as intense as fight camp. It's this fun phase where the pressure's off a little bit and you've got a lot more calories in you. And you can play around. One of the best times to train.
Is it something that's really important to you, just constantly being in the gym, whether it's fighting or not, like having a fight scheduled or not? It seems like you just genuinely love the sport and love being in and around it as much as possible.
Well, some people are really ambitious and they see themselves in certain positions. Some people are just kind of driven and they do things because they have. It's just they kind of have to because their body makes them. Like after I had my surgery for a broken jaw, that was on late Friday night. Monday, I was just in the gym doing light farmers walks because I just felt I had to do something. I'm not necessarily seeing targets all the time. I just feel like you have to do something. What else are you going to do with your time?
I mean, that's mental to think that you're straight back in after a jaw surgery. But I mean, looking at this past fight and just leading up to the fight, what were the weeks leading up to it like? I mean, you have an opponent change, and then obviously your brother gets the incredible opportunity of fighting on UFC Paris, which I imagine was just the most mental week you've had. I mean, dealing with all that leading up to a fight, how on earth are you still able to go out there and perform after it?
So, yeah, it was crazy. I got the news before that Quahagans was out. Ended up going from someone who was like a 6'3", long, rangy striker and a grappler to a really stocky 5'8" guy swinging left hooks and right hands. When Harry got the news, it was a bit mad. It was like my last week of fight camp, proper training, and then he answers his phone, runs off the mat. I can see him kind of welling up because he knows he's got that UFC opportunity. And then finishing fight camp in Paris was, it was a bit tricky because there's all those croissants and boulangeries and patisseries around, and you kind of the temptation is 10 times more whenever you're traveling. It's always hard to manage your weight and travel, but got some really good sessions in, and it was kind of it was difficult seeing. Obviously, it's difficult seeing how the fight went with Harry, but this is what a lot of people online who talk this, that, and the other. They wish they had the strength of character, even like a modicum of the strength of character like Harry has. When Harry defended his title successfully, the night I had a 5-round war, he cornered that. And then I was in the hospital watching the fight between CT scans. And Harry just was like, all right, that's happened, dialed into his own fight and won. That was like a week before my fight in the Cage Warriors main event. And I was like, all right, this didn't go as planned. The most important human to me has just lost his UFC debut. All right, let's just get my fitness pal up. What calories have I got left? What can I eat tonight? How do I finish my protein? It's just this constant forward motion.
And I mean, going through that experience, obviously this is about you, but I do want to say, it felt like a lot of people going into that fight maybe didn't appreciate just how good Cowboy Fernandez is, and weight up, and he's massive for that weight as well. But I mean, what was the pride level like for you going in there and watching your brother make his UFC debut? That must have just been incredible and so inspirational as well, I imagine.
Yeah, because this is what we strive for all our life. One of us to get this opportunity. The entrance to the Tekken 2 music, Tekken 2 being one of the reasons we're into martial arts, one of our earliest gaming experiences. You know, Kiryu, not Kiryu, um, mm, how am I? Heihachi, Paul Phoenix, all these guys. Uh, Kazuya, that's what I meant. I'm getting mixed up with the Yakuza character. But Kazuya, Heihachi, this kind of a big reason why we're in martial arts in the first place. And this has all gone through years and years and ended up in the UFC. And then obviously didn't go according to plan, but his foot's in the door now.
I mean, I'm very excited to see the next one. And then, of course, like you said, the week after, Nonato Junior, who, like you said, I mean, you've spent weeks planning for a complete opposite fighter, and you go in there against a guy who's like a pit bull to me, just foot forward on the gas the whole time, swinging big shots at you, and you put on an absolute clinic against him. I mean, I imagine you've had a chance to watch it back. What do you think about that performance?
See, because of the big left hand he lands in the first and how close he gets on that omoplata, at the time when the fight finished, I didn't even celebrate. I just looked over at Harry in the corner and was like, what the fuck? I thought my eye was completely messed up. I thought I'd put on a terrible performance. Um, but watching it back, I've kind of appreciated that kind of fighter. If you look at his record, all his finishes are in the first round. So whatever whatever happens that first round, you know it's going to be tricky. You know, that's his dangerous round. You've got to go through some wild stuff. Like the left hand he got us with, he went right hammer fist, left hook, which it's not a combination people tend to throw. Uh, so got a little bit less harsh watching it again, but there's still a lot to improve on, and still a lot I haven't shown that I do constantly in sparring, but I never show in fights.
I mean, I thought it was a brilliant performance, and I thought the big thing watching the fight was that, I don't know, adjustment, or whether the opportunity just started arising for the front kick to the body and really working the body more as the fight went on. Was that something that you saw during the fight, or something that you maybe had planned beforehand in the short time you had to prepare for Nonato?
See, I like front kicks. I love Kyokushin karate. I love all the Japanese front kick boys who like these Mikazuka Geris, you know, the Yuki Yosas, Masaki Noiris, people who dig the toes, ball the foot. And I've always liked that, even before I was fighting pro, like early in amateur fights when I was into MMA, really liked those kicks with the ball the foot into the stomach. And you know, I had the range advantage on him, and he was actually quite hard to track down with the punches when I was kind of overforcing it in the first. But there was a bit of clinch, and when I was landing the front kicks, it just made it so much easier to land everything else. Obviously, it takes the wind out of you, but it makes you hesitant to like bring your elbows away from your body or move your head because you can still get front kicked up the middle. So yeah, it was something I was visualizing a bit before the fight, and the more I threw it, the better it worked. There was one point I land a hook and a cross, and he kind of does the hands up, yeah, let's go, and I just front kick him at that moment, and that's one of the best front kicks of the fight.
It does make me laugh when people do that hands up thing. It always says to me like, you're gonna get hit like that, like caught at the wrong time, or kind of a fake thing of like, oh, I'm really hurting, let me invite this guy on, as kind of a show. But that was fun to watch. And I mean, another incredible thing about the fight obviously was that it was up in Newcastle, near your home, of course. I mean, what was that experience like? And the fans up there are always just incredible.
Yeah, in terms of the whole fight experience, you know, there wasn't like this emotional complete breakdown of happiness like when I won the belt, but in terms of the whole fight experience, the walkout, the energy after getting the result, that was like the best fight night of my life, probably so far. And there could be even bigger ones soon. But yeah, just every aspect felt fun. There wasn't like, oh, I'm nervous in the walkout. I'm nervous waiting for them to call my name. Every aspect was fun, apart from getting the left hook into the eye, but that probably made it more fun as a viewer, a bit of back and forth. But yeah, the walkout, I felt really loose. All fight week, I felt really loose, and I was watching old Conor McGregor open workouts, not even watching his fights, watching the open workouts when he was really young, featherweight, and he was doing these Edo Portal locomotive crawling drills. So I thought, I'll mess around with this in fight week. You know, sometimes I can feel so regimented in fight week, I have to do this, have to do that. I'll just play around, have a little move around, and it's the loosest I've ever felt on a fight week. And obviously, in terms of the walkout, the High School Musical, surprisingly, a lot of people sang along with that I wasn't expecting.
I thought that watching it, it sounded loud I mean, that was hilarious watching at home. No one's expecting that. Was that just another part of it of like, let's just make this fun for yourself and not kind of build it up too much?
The thing is, it was completely straight. There was no ooh, it's High School Musical. Because to me, I really fuck with those lyrics. Those lyrics, like I'd only watched it for the first time properly a few weeks before the fight, but yeah, the lyrics they properly fuck with me on a deep level. And it was like I'm singing along with it earnestly when I'm walking out because I believe in the lyrics. as cliched as that sounds.
I mean, they're good films too, man. People give them slack because it's Zac Efron and everything, but they're good films if you watch them. They're decent. I mean, I wanted to ask as well. This, before this year, you took the third loss of your career. I think it's so interesting that every time you've taken a loss, you bounce straight back with a win and very, very good wins too. Like good opponents, very good performances, in my opinion, every single time. How are you able to just move on from a loss so well and move right into the next fight and sort of pick up where you left off?
Well, I don't know if there's any other way. I've heard of people take a loss and they'll spend months out the gym just to get their head back in the space. I'm like, I want to be in the gym and on the mats as soon as possible. I'm a complete nerd for being in the gym. I have a YouTube channel where I literally just break down Japanese people hitting pads and how the pad holder holds pads for them and this. I'm a complete nerd for it. And like I said, it's not necessarily the ambition of seeing myself back in the win column. It's just I have to do something. I have to do something. And now you just really don't want to end up on like an Anthony Pettis rhythm. Remember when Anthony Pettis had that one win, one loss, one win, one loss, back and forth? If you win and you relax, it's a dangerous, dangerous time.
And I mean, looking ahead to the future now, what do you think is next year? I feel like there's a pretty obvious card that we could see you on.
Ooh, that birthday card, December 6th in Newcastle, that would be absolutely ideal. Right before Christmas. I mean, that'd be a perfect night.
It seems like a pretty easy teed up for you to hit out the park. So hopefully, from a selfish point of view, we get to see that. And just one final question, mate, and it's a bit of a cliche one that I'm sure you get every single time you sit down with someone. But I imagine the goal is still, all eyes on the UFC for the future and getting both brothers in there. Is that still, at the forefront of the mind long term?
100%, 100%. Um, and that's the thing with the UFC is, I had for ages when I was defending the belt, you should be in the UFC, you should be here, you should be there. But that's the thing about the sport. It can go from 0 to 100 in seconds. Like when Harry was in the gym and he got his phone call up for UFC Paris. So it's a case of staying ready and just taking each fight with the intention to absolutely run through someone. You can't really overthink long-term plans, how you get there.
Well, I mean, you definitely did that last time out. So, congratulations again and thank you very much for your time today, mate. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to speak to you.